Am I the fool for not telling my fiancé? Let me take you on a journey through a story of secrets and dilemmas. I'm a 30-year-old man, living the single life in a house that I proudly own. A few months ago, my life took an unexpected turn when my mother lost her job. In a gesture of support, I decided to let her move in with me. However, there's a catch. I'm a card-carrying member of the medical herb community, and I enjoy my daily smoke. I had a heart-to-heart with my mom before she moved in, warning her that the sweet scent of herb would waft through our living spaces. She agreed, with a request that I only smoke outside, a reasonable compromise. But as time passed, her acceptance began to waver. She started making comments, gently nudging me to quit, and I did my best to ignore them. Yet, her gentle nudges turned into firm demands, as if she still saw me as her little boy, obedient to her orders. I refused, asserting my independence. She broke down, claiming I didn't love her and that I had a problem. The following day, I returned home to find a shocking sight. She had flushed my stash, an ounce of herb, and insisted that I attend treatment. I was furious, not about the herb itself, but about the violation of my boundaries. I'm an adult, a homeowner with a steady job, and I'm legally permitted to use it. Her actions demonstrated a lack of respect for me. In response, I told her she couldn't stay with me any longer. I gave her a month to make new arrangements, but she was already packed and on her way to my brother's house, a few hours away. She undoubtedly thinks I'm a fool, as does my brother, who has become the caretaker for our mother. But I stand by my decision, as it was about respect and boundaries. So, was I the fool in this scenario? It's clear that she was going to find fault with something eventually. It's better to set the record straight now than let such issues fester and erupt later. After all, my life and my boundaries should be respected, regardless of family ties. Or perhaps you'd like to delve into a tale of a family dispute. I have a fondness for indoor plants and grow a diverse collection of greenery around my house. I cultivate lilies, aloe vera, and various flowers that require my care and attention. It's more than just a hobby, it's a passion. However, my peaceful plant-filled world was disrupted by my 16-year-old stepson, Sean. Sean is a mischievous kid who often pulls pranks on me. While I usually take these antics in stride, one incident crossed the line. He posted an embarrassing video of me on Facebook, which he shared with our family. Understandably, I was upset and had him take it down, despite his pleas to keep it online. Things settled down, or so I thought. Sean took a surprising interest in my beloved plants and asked if he could water them. I agreed and handed him the watering can, instructing him to focus on the kitchen plants. But things took an unexpected turn. When I noticed a strange smell coming from the watering can and my plants, my heart sank. It was the unmistakable odor of bleach. Confronting Sean, he initially feigned ignorance, but a search of his room revealed a bottle of bleach, confirming my worst fears. He had watered my precious plants with bleach to get back at me for deleting the video. I was heartbroken. In my frustration, I cancelled a family trip to a national park that Sean had eagerly anticipated. He was devastated and claimed he acted in a moment of poor judgment. My wife, however, felt an apology should suffice, considering his age and the gravity of his mistake. She implored me to let it go, but I remained steadfast, viewing the cancelled trip as Sean's punishment. I was labelled unreasonable and stubborn, accused of not respecting her as a parent and charged with abuse. I'm left questioning my actions. So, dear readers, am I the fool in this situation? Was my response justified, or did I go too far? These rewrites aim to make the narratives more engaging and thought-provoking. Step into the intriguing world of family dynamics and moral dilemmas. In the saga of our household, Sean possesses a peculiar belief that confession and a heartfelt apology are his tickets to forgiveness. Yet, his mother subscribes to this belief, deeming it the end-all, be-all solution to any misdeed. The big question remains, was I the fool for cancelling our family trip over Sean's peculiar act of watering my cherished plants with bleach? From the way the stepdad tells the tale, it seems that Sean believes he can navigate any trouble with a scripted dance, admit, apologize, and add some tears for effect. But what baffles me is why the stepdad was so perturbed by this. I mean, he, himself, filmed Sean in an embarrassing moment, posted it online for the entire family to see, and then created an ordeal that could potentially lead to his plant's demise. It's doubtful those plants will survive a drenching in bleach, and I doubt Sean only added a sprinkle. To me, the punishment seems fitting. Cancelling a trip for the plant ordeal appears a reasonable consequence for the young lad. But what's your take on this, and how would you handle it if you were in this situation? Is the stepdad acting foolishly, or is he in the right? Now, shifting gears to a tale of personal honesty and reflection. Let me whisk you into the realm of my past, where a tumultuous high school experience looms large. I'm an author of mild acclaim, my books may not top bestseller lists, but they find their audience. About 3 years ago, a student from my old high school reached out, inquiring if she could interview me. I hesitated, acknowledging that my school days were far from idyllic, but I agreed to discuss my career. Our chat was engaging until she turned the spotlight onto my school experiences. I tried to steer the conversation back to my work, but she sensed my reluctance and asked, "Are you hesitant to talk about your time at school?" I replied, "Let's stick to the story." But she persisted, hinting that this might be a more compelling narrative. Ultimately, I relented, feeling no obligation to protect the school's reputation. I recounted specific names and instances where I sought help and found none. My school's teachers displayed a clear bias towards girls in sports teams, cozying up to them and their parents. I recalled a teacher who openly mocked my clothing and athletic abilities. Then, I recounted a traumatic memory, a group of girls relentlessly taunting me, calling me Mooly. When I reported this to a teacher, she called me Mooly for the rest of the year and suspended me for a week. The interview was published, causing ripples on Facebook, though it didn't exactly go viral. A few weeks later, a school official reached out, chastising me for opening old wounds and vilifying veteran teachers during their tough times. However, the Mooly incident led to a veteran teacher losing a lifetime teaching award. The aftermath saw a swarm of messages from old classmates, many who remained in the town. They accused me of tarnishing the school's reputation and defaming prominent community members. It was X years ago, they argued, why can't you move on? But it seems that some of them remain unchanged, still clinging to the past. As I reflect on it all, I'm left wondering, am I the fool? As many have pointed out, I fear casting veteran teachers in a bad light. Yet, the story seems to point to the bad actions during crucial moments. Someone even believes that the teacher who called me Mooly deserved to lose her award, and she's likely in for a shock. So, is my honesty foolish, or am I justified in sharing my truth? These rewrites aim to make the narratives more captivating and engaging for the reader. Step into the realm of family clashes and herb-infused conflicts. In a twist of fate, I, a 30-year-old single man living solo in my very own home, found myself facing an unexpected turn of events. A few months back, my world got a shake-up when my mom lost her job. Fueled by a desire to help, I opened my doors to her, inviting her to stay with me. But little did I know that this generous offer would ignite a fiery clash of principles. You see, I possess a valid medical herb card, and I make no secret of my daily indulgence. Well aware of my mother's distaste for herb, I laid down the law up front, warning her that my daily herbal rituals wouldn't be halted to accommodate her. She reluctantly agreed, requesting only that I partake in my habit outdoors, a request I found rather reasonable given the strong scent of herb that can be off-putting to newcomers. For a while, this arrangement worked harmoniously. But slowly, the peaceful truce gave way to discord. My mom started with subtle comments, urging me to quit my habit. I tried to shrug them off, but her persistence knew no bounds. She escalated her demands, as if I were still a child over whom she could assert authority. I refused to comply and made it clear that she could seek alternative accommodations if my lifestyle didn't suit her. That's when the tables turned dramatically. The next day, I returned home from work to a shocking revelation. My mom had not only confiscated but unceremoniously flushed my herb supply, an ounce of it, to be precise. In her view, this was for my own good, and she insisted that I enroll in treatment. You can probably guess my reaction. I was positively livid, not so much about the loss of herb, which I could easily replace given its reasonable cost. It was her blatant disregard for my choices and her total lack of respect for me as an independent adult that incensed me. I mean, I'm a grown man, I have a successful job, I own my own house, and I enjoy legal approval from the state to partake in my herbal rituals. Yet here I was, being dictated to by someone I was generously supporting. This level of audacity was beyond outrageous. Our heated argument raged on, and it became painfully clear that she harbored no remorse for her actions. In fact, it seemed she might even attempt a repeat performance in the future. That's when I laid down the ultimatum: she could no longer reside in my home. I gave her a month to find alternative arrangements, but to my surprise, she was already packed and on her way to my brother's house a few hours away. Now, the big question remains: am I the fool in this family saga? To me, this saga is a ticking time bomb, with my mom on the hunt for any disagreement with my brother to exploit, much like she did with me. I'd already asserted the legality of my choice and shown myself as a responsible adult. Yet, she decided to test her theory and thrust her opinion onto me, using a Trojan horse strategy to get her way. So, if you were in my shoes, how would you navigate this quagmire, and do you think my decision to send my mom packing makes me a fool? Dive into a tale of cunning revenge and unexpected twists. So, here's the scoop: we had this guy on our team who thought he'd hit the jackpot and decided to quit his job, convinced he was now swimming in riches. You see, I work for a construction company specializing in home remodeling. Our golden rule is that any treasures hidden behind the walls belong to the worker who stumbles upon them. We were in desperate need of a new hire, and that's when this character walked in. From day one, it was clear that this fella was a bit of a goofball. I'd been a dedicated worker for this company for 5 years, while this newbie had just a year's worth of construction experience under his belt. And his previous stint? Accounting, if you can believe it, which he got the boot from due to a DUI. Now, here's where it gets spicy: this guy made a hobby out of mocking my choice of attire and accents. He even took it to the extreme by crossing boundaries when he snitched about my private Instagram pictures to the boss. In a bizarre invasion of my privacy, he laid hands on my phone, dug into my Instagram, and showed the boss images of me enjoying my herbal delights. Little did he know, the boss was none other than an old friend from 8 years ago, back when we'd have a smoke together. I was furious at his audacity, so I devised a plan to teach him a lesson. This guy was a habitual latecomer, always whining about trains or traffic being the cause of his tardiness. One day, I overheard him daydreaming about quitting if he ever struck it rich. Respect must be earned around here, I reminded myself. So, I decided to set the stage for my payback. I went online and bought some faux gold coins, stashed them inside an antique metal box, and bided my time, waiting for the perfect moment to secret it away behind a wall. I didn't have to wait long. The day he uncovered the coins, it was like witnessing his personal lottery. The moment he cracked open that box, he didn't hold back. He called our boss an effing loser, making his grand exit right there on the spot. With a triumphant "F this place, I'm rich, LOL," he marched out the door. But the twist was yet to unfold. He had no idea that his best day ever was, in fact, the pinnacle of my scheming brilliance. After he quit, our boss casually informed us that he was planning to fire the guy anyway for his chronic lateness. But here's the cherry on top: I wish I could have been a fly on the wall when he discovered that the gold coins were nothing but fakes. To me, it was the best $40 I'd ever spent. Now, you tell me, was I the fool in this elaborate plot? You see, the beauty of it all is that I didn't really have to do anything extraordinary. This guy's exit from the company was imminent anyway, but I managed to turn it into a memorable spectacle. It's like a bespoke version of those pranks where people receive fake lottery tickets, believing they've won the grand prize. Those situations turn out to be far more heart-wrenching than they initially seem. You witness a whirlwind of emotions, the elation of a jackpot win swiftly followed by the crushing disappointment of realizing it was all a prank. So, here's the million-dollar question: what would you do if you found yourself in my shoes? Do you think I'm the fool for orchestrating this elaborate ruse that made the guy think he'd struck it rich and led him to quit his job?